And then she realizes she forgot to actually brush her hair. Oh, oops. I've been so busy on making sure my hair dried, I forgot to actually brush it. And it's not even completely dry yet. Hey, I'm vlogging right now as well. Not this second, but I am vlogging as well. So look forward to that vlog unless I put it up on Sunday, which I doubt because I'm going to be too busy editing other things. Anyway, let's go ahead and get started. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I am Britt, and if you haven't subscribed yet, you probably should because I talk about geeky things, and every Monday I talk about Power Rangers Beast Morphers in episode reviews. This is actually a pretty good one that I actually liked the majority of the episode, and yeah, so let's just get right down to it. So the episode opens with Devin out for a run / jog, whatever you want to call it. I always just call it a run, even if you're jogging. And he runs into Ben and Betty, who are buying a cake for their father because it's his birthday. And then they see a bank robbery happen right in front of them. And so Devin decides to go after the bank robber. And Ben and Betty, you know, ruin their father's cake because slapstick humor is funny. So Devin decides to morph and into his Fury mode. So he morphs immediately into Fury mode. So the fact that it took forever in the last episode meant literally nothing. But that's okay because we learn a massive limitation to Fury mode, at least so far. So he morphs into Fury mode, which again goes against Zordon's rules. Hey, you're about to meet Jason, so maybe follow Zordon's rules and not use your powers for personal gain. So Devin goes after the robber. He stops the robber in a car by picking it up. And then the police officer kind of rudely tells him, hey, stick to your own place. You defeat the monsters. We'll take care of the criminals. And so he decides to give the cop the car, and then he goes off to help the other Rangers who are currently fighting a monster. He goes to fight the monster and decides that he is the only important Power Ranger in the team. At this point, I'm realizing that he's suffering from what I like to call Red Ranger syndrome. And it happens every once in a while. It happens in very different ways. It happens with the Red Ranger just believing that he is God's gift to the world. It happens with the Red Ranger realizing that he is the leader, therefore makes the others slaves. Hi to Jack from SPD. Anyway, I'm starting to realize at this point that he has Red Ranger syndrome. It actually goes a little bit deeper than that, but we're gonna get there. So Roxy is there and she decides to create a new monster, and she creates one out of a candle, which really hits home hard with me because I grew up around candles because my parents owned a candle company. And they were kind of evil in our house, especially during Target, when my parents sold candles to Target and had to fill those orders. She's about to power up the monster with the Fury cell that she has when Devin decides to use his Fury powers and steal it from Roxy because his is starting to run out. So the Fury cells have a lifespan when being used. He uses that to be able to become even more powerful yet again, and yet again stealing the thunder from the other Rangers. And the others are starting to get very frustrated. So when Roxy and the Candle Monster retreat, the other Rangers are all really frustrated over the fact that Devin decided to kind of be a one-man show in this fight. Nate tells him that ever since he started using the Fury cell that he's been being kind of weird, so just be careful. And Devin really doesn't take that very seriously because of the problem that he's going through. So we jump over to the bad guys, and Blaze is making fun of Roxy for losing. Evox decides to promise Roxy all of the Beast Morphers powers, or the power up, the upgrade, if she is able to take the cheetah powers away from Devin. Now remember, this doesn't take away their powers, it just steals a portion of their powers for them to upgrade. And this is the last set of the original Rangers, and I don't know why they're not going after Nate and Steel, but they're not going after Nate and Steel. And I don't know why they're leaving those two out, but they're leaving those two out, and I don't get it. But hopefully we'll find out why, or there is no reason, because Power Rangers needs a new showrunner. I haven't said that yet, and this episode really doesn't make me feel like they need a new showrunner, but we have to remember who the enemy really is. one good episode does not make a good showrunner. It is then revealed that if Devin continues to use the Fury cells, he's going to become evil. And just like that, with the fingers and everything. They said in the episode, I swear, I promise. So we jump back to the Rangers, where Devin is just being really impatient, really wants whatever it was they ordered. I don't remember anymore what it was they ordered. But he really wants what they ordered, and so he's just being real, frustrated. Ben and Betty end up with a new, smaller cake for their father's birthday, which again gets destroyed later in the scene. Betty sits on it. It's fine. And the others are kind of talking about how he's become reckless and selfish and just not a good person. Oh, I forgot to mention that Nate stole a little sliver of his hair, a little poke, little pull of the hair, because he needed some DNA, I suppose, because that's one of the ways you can get DNA. Devin then recklessly decides to take on 2 kendo practicers by himself and looks at his Fury cell, indicating that he's going to use the Fury cell. Again, Zordon's rule: do not use your powers for personal gain. Why don't they ever It just occurred to me that Epion and Double O have both fallen over. I love my cat. Oh, stay. Don't use your powers for personal gain, Devin! It is then that the Rangers are called back to the base by the commander, and Devin doesn't really want to go, but he's pulled away to go back to the command center to discuss what is happening with him. And it turns out Nate has been able to figure out the same thing that Evox and the evil guys have found out, which was Devin's gonna become evil forever. This is one of the things I didn't like, I guess, necessarily, but we're gonna get to that later when we're talking about what I like and what I don't like about this episode. It's fine. It's kind of minor, but I would have thought of a better story. So Devin gets really frustrated over this intervention, essentially being like, hey, don't use the Fury cell anymore. And Devin's like, but it's giving me all kinds of power. And they're like, yeah, but it's making you kind of a jerk. And he's like, I don't care. I don't need a team. Bye. And he just kind of walks out, which of course is not great news when your Red Ranger's like, adios, suckers, and walks out of the door. Roxy attacks the Power Rangers, and so those 4 go off and fight. When the Candle Monster realizes that Devin isn't there, Roxy decides that she needs to coax him out in order to get him to fight. Roxy holds up the last Fury cell and threatens to power up the monster when Devin decides to show up and try and take the Fury cell. So she accidentally drops it so that Devin could steal it and to become evil forever, when Ravi decides to go and take it himself. And so Ravi takes it and keeps it away from Devin. Devin actually goes after Ravi and tries to destroy him. Ravi even ends up unmorphing, and he's still going at him full force. I mean, not really. It's one of those dramatic moments of give me the power cell. And then he's like, no. And it's not really they're fighting. It's just a dramatic moment, which is great. Eventually, Devin does actually get the cell away from Ravi, but just as he gets the cell away from Ravi, his Fury powers go away, and he kind of snaps back into who he was. He destroys the Fury cell, throws it at Roxy, hits her, and that's kind of the end of it. Kind of. I mean, we still have the Megazord fight. Well, not really a Megazord fight. So Scrozzle sends down a Gigadrone, and then Devin just goes and fights it himself. Not in the sense of I can do it myself, but just in the sense of the other Rangers need to attack this other monster. So it's fine. So they're all fighting. The Candle Monster gets destroyed. Nate and Steel go to help, Devin. And Zoe says that she's not feeling great, so she heads back. And Ravi wasn't there because Ravi was injured, so Ravi obviously wasn't fighting in that final fight. So the Gigadrone gets destroyed, and all is well again in the city that we live in. I don't remember. Devin decides to bake a new cake for Ben and Betty, for their father, and so he does, and gives it to them, and they're trying to, decorate it because Devin baked it but didn't decorate it. He goes and apologizes to everybody, and everybody says it's cool. They're a team and they're friends, and that's the way that they're always gonna be. And then the father walks in, Ben and Betty's father walks in and gets shot in the face with some frosting because slapstick is funny. So that's kind of the end of the episode. I enjoyed this episode. I thought it was actually pretty good. I did. I actually kind of enjoyed it. The only thing I really didn't like, I'm going to kind of tie into the one of the things I do like about it, which is when good guys become evil. I like when good guys become evil. I don't know what it is about my brain that likes a really weird storyline. Like, it's a really overused storyline. It's a really kind of basic storyline, and I don't know why I love it so much, but for some reason I love it. I've loved it since I was a kid, and I just love it as an adult. It's such a good kind of storytelling technique, and that's the thing I don't like about it. I wish they wouldn't have put on the words forever so that we could have had an evil Devin for a minute. It would have been really nice instead of having just this like almost evil Devin. You know, we kind of had a taste of it with the way that he was going after Ravi, but if they hadn't added the forever on it, it would have been kind of nice. It would have been kind of nice. I like the Red Ranger complex. I think that it's really fun. I think that it's really humbling for the Red Ranger. You know, when you have a character like Jason who never had it, he was always, you know, this perfect blah, blah, blah. There's a reason I don't like Superman. He's too perfect. I like when our big hero, when our number one hero is not perfect, which is weird because Jason has always been one of my favorite Rangers, so it's strange, and I get it, but it's fine. But yeah, I like when they have the Red Ranger complex. And the final thing that I really like is the Roxy and Blaze build up to whatever is happening with them. I've been talking about it for weeks now, and I really, really do enjoy it. So there you guys go. It's a little bit shorter this week, but I have to go and eat dinner, and so I will see you guys all on tomorrow, because I have a new video going out tomorrow, and then on Thursday. 3 videos this week. Enjoy it. I've been working hard. See you guys next time. Bye.